People calling climate change the crisis of all time. The sea level is increasing, the heat is expanding, and the ice is melting. The world leaders gather around to talk about this crisis and how to slow it down. They are under pressure from thousands of people calling for concrete actions. So the question is, what did exactly we do wrong and how can we fix it? I'm Alma Hanifa, the student of LSPR Communication and Business Institute under the supervisor of Mr. Charles Bonar Sirait, and I'm going to talk about more about climate change crisis that is currently happening right now. Starting with a simple explanation about climate change itself. I'm going to jump right into the scientific explanation of climate change, so bear with me. As of early 2017, the Earth has warmed more than 1 degree Celsius since 1880. The warming is greater over land and greater still in the Arctic over parts of Antarctica. The substantial warming explains why much of the world's ice is starting to melt and the ocean are rising at an accelerating pace. Would that appear may lead into some questions. Who is responsible with the changes? The animals? No. The nature? No. The answer is humankind. Yes, we are responsible for the climate change. Scientists believe most and probably all of the warming since 1950 was caused by the release of greenhouse gases. If emissions continue unhacked, they say that by 2017, much of the Earth population is likely to live in climate conditions that are not suitable for humankind. With that lead up to 3 billion people will live in extreme heat. This means the current generation is dooming the future generation to a more difficult future. Over upcoming 25 to 30 years, scientists say the climate gradually getting warmer, with more than extreme heat wave that can kill vulnerable people. If emissions continue to rise, the risks are profound. Scientists fear climate effects so severe they might destabilize government, produce wave of refugees, participate the 6 mass extinctions of plants and animals in the Earth's history. All of this could make hundreds or even thousands of years to play out, but experts cannot rule out changes, such as a collapse of agriculture that would throw civilization into chaos much sooner. So can we do anything about it? The answer is yes. We can reduce our own carbon footprint in lots of simple ways, and most of them will save us money. We can plug off the lights in any room where we are not using them, drive fewer miles by consolidating trips or taking public transit, creating a zero plastic life, recycling your wastage, waste less food, and eat less meat. In the end though, experts do not believe that the needed transformation in the energy system can happen without a strong state and national policies. So speaking up and exercising our right as a citizen matters as much as anything else we can do. So is there any hope for good changes? Absolutely. For 20 years, largely fruitless diplomacy in the terms of climate change, the government of the world are finally starting to take this problem seriously. A deal reached in Paris in late 2015 commits nearly every country to some kind of action on climate change. The United Nations agenda called Sustainable Development Goals or SDG also encouraged climate change across the world under its climate actions goals. So, for conclusion, we are facing the crisis called climate change. This crisis will doom our next generation to the hardest future. It's mainly our responsibility to take action and decrease the greenhouse emissions in order to save our dear planet. Regardless of how the world leader has moved forward and took further action with the climate change actions, it depends for every single one of us to tackle this crisis once and for all. One of the youngest climate activists, Greta Thunberg, once said that the climate crisis has been solved. We already have the facts and the solutions. All we have to do is wake up and change. That is all I wanted to say. Thank you so much and see you.